What's up YouTube, I'm Guy, and welcome to the channel. Somebody on the Just Bluefish Facebook group recently asked the question, why does everybody hate the Rolex Yachtmaster? Or maybe it was something more to the effect of, why doesn't the Yachtmaster get quite as much love as other Rolex watches? And I thought it was a really good topic to discuss in a video. So the Yachtmaster certainly is not one of the most popular watches offered by Rolex. And while I can't speak for anyone else, I personally don't find it very appealing. Now, before I go into all the issues that I have with the watch, let me be clear. I'm not judging anyone who owns or otherwise loves this model. We all have different tastes, and you're most certainly entitled to yours. So please, don't take any of the criticisms or critiques of the Yachtmaster personally. They're just my opinions, and it's just not the watch for me. Okay, now with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the Rolex Yachtmaster. And to be clear, we're talking about the regular version of the Yachtmaster, both the 40mm version and the newer 42mm version. But most certainly we're not talking about the Yachtmaster 2. Everything I find wrong with the Yachtmaster 2 could be its own entirely separate video. So here's the four main things that I find wrong with the Yachtmaster, and why, at least for me, I think it's an unappealing watch. First, it's kind of expensive. Yes, there is a model of the 40mm Yachtmaster in the $11,000 to $12,000 range, but the whole line of watches is otherwise primarily in precious metals, and they reach prices north of $40,000 in rose gold, and that's on a rubber strap. Even at the lower end of the range, I just can't see spending the extra premium on this watch when it's really quite similar to the Submariner. And the Sub is a bit more affordable, not to mention better looking. So, secondly, the Yachtmaster feels a little bit like a watch with a misplaced identity. Like, is it a dressy sports watch, or is it a sporty dress watch, or something else? I don't know, but frankly, I don't see the point of it. And look, I do get that at the end of the day, these watches are all sort of jewelry. I don't have some sort of misplaced notion that I'm going to take my Rolex to the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean. But I think we can all agree that it's a little bit cooler when a watch could at least serve a purpose. And I just don't know what the purpose of this watch is. Sure, Rolex marketing says that it's for yachting regatta competitions, but I'd guess its purpose is more along the lines of a watch that you might wear to a cocktail party on a yacht. My third issue with the Yachtmaster is an aesthetic thing, and it's explicitly to do with the design of the bezel. The Yachtmaster is very similar to the Submariner, but one glaring difference is the bezel insert and the numerals on the insert. First, there's almost no contrast, making the bezel harder to read, and while I don't go diving with my Submariner, I do use the timing bezel on an almost daily basis, so the high contrast does aid in the usability quite a bit. Second is the typeface that they chose for the numerals. There's no elegant way to say this, but to me it just looks goofy. The big, bold, block letter typeface cheapens the look in my opinion, and I much prefer the bezel insert and the numerals on the Submariner. Last and certainly not least, the name. And look, I freely admit that this is completely superficial, but I don't think I would wear a watch with the name Yachtmaster. Even in my fantasy make-believe world, in my mind, I don't see myself as a yachtsman. I have zero affinity or interest in yachting, and to me, there's just nothing cool about a watch that projects that image. Now, I know, when I say this, people are going to point out two things. First, they're going to call me a watch snob, and that's entirely not true. I'd be a watch snob if I said it was a bad watch, if I told people who liked the watch that they were wrong, and if I encouraged people to not buy them. I don't care if anyone else likes it. I'm happy for everyone that owns one of these watches. But I don't, and I think that's okay too. Secondly, people will probably point out that I wear watches with names like Submariner and Speedmaster, so really, what's the difference? What does it matter if this one is called the Yachtmaster? All I can say is that, to me, at least in my mind, the image that those other watches project and the things they stand for are far more appealing, and while I certainly won't ever find myself on a racetrack timing my laps with a Speedmaster, I do find that theme cooler than yachting. I know there are plenty of people who own them, and there are plenty of more people who like them, and that's okay. It's a good thing, at least I think, that they exist. Variety is the spice of life. Yachtmasters being available in the Rolex catalog means that there's something out there for everyone. Well, that'll wrap up today's video, and of course, a big thanks for tuning in and watching. As always, I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, give this video a like, and also comment down below. Let me and everyone else know what you think about the Rolex Yachtmaster. I'd be curious to see how many people agree with me. Also, check the description of this video for some ways that you can help me out and support what I'm doing here on YouTube. There is, first of all, a link to my Patreon, and if you'd like to make a small donation, I'd certainly appreciate that. You'll also find my Amazon affiliate link down below as well. If you'd like to buy something that I've reviewed off of Amazon, click that link first. I get a small referral commission, and yeah, those commissions do add up. And big thanks to everyone that's been using that Amazon affiliate link, and of course my Patreon supporters as well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to say bye now.